Hey everybody, it's Zach again. Welcome back to my Life with Zach channel. Today I want to talk about this little gadget, the Mr. Landscaper drip irrigation system. Now I just installed this system, as you can see, around my new patio. All the way around, connecting into, stay Chief. Chief wanted to come say hi. Connecting into my faucet over here. Now this Mr. Landscaping irrigation system is designed to pump about 10 gallons an hour out of one of those sprinkler systems that I showed you here. And it, depending on how much pressure, of course, and stuff you have, it is designed for you to be able to set it and forget it, either turn it on manually or turn it on with a timer to be able to cover a wide area. Now, what happens is, over here, of course, where the faucet is, I have on here a pressure reducer. It only operates on about 25 psi. I had a little bit more than that, so just to be sure, I put one on. And then there's an adapter that takes it down from the faucet down to your hose. Now, I have half-inch hose, I guess you could say is our supply hose, running out of here around everything. You can get 1/4 inch, but mainly those are supposed to be like feeder lines that run the sprinklers and things. And basically what it does is, there's a connection here that hooks in from the hose into whatever you're connecting it to, and you basically just screw this on. It's really easy to connect together. And what I've done is I've run this over here, and I've run a T to cover these two plants and then to go around the patio. Now one trick, excuse me, one trick you'll need to remember when you, Chief, sit. When you run your hose and measure it out, you need to make sure you measure from the faucet around your landscaping. To include that distance, because I had an argument with the person at Lowe's who helped me, who told me that I had enough with a 50-foot coil to go around my 16 by 21 patio. And yes, I did, but then I didn't have enough after I measured, before I bought it, to go from the faucet out here. And I don't think he thought about that. So that's something to think of. But you can see here, basically you run the hose down out to these little sprinkler setups. And I would also recommend picking up some of these. These are some of the like staple stake things, the curved ones. I put around about 30 out here to hold this down. Probably when it gets warm and things and settles down into the summer, it'll be easier for it to stay, or you can bury it later once it gets more flexible. But after it's been curled up in the store and stuff like that, it's not going to want to lay. So you're going to need some of those to hold it down. And when I mulch next year, I'm just going to cover all of this up. But you can see here, it runs to this little sprinkler. And all you do is basically there's a tool that you poke a hole here and then attach this violet piece to the hose. And that's your adapter that then runs to this 1/4 inch line up this little sprinkler thing to this head. Actually pretty simple, but quite ingenious. And what it is there's several different heads. There's heads for that go up to like a 10-foot radius sprinkler. There's 360 heads. There's dropper heads. There's ones that just dribble. There's ones that do 180, 90 degrees. I got these here. You can tell these red ones and yellow. What they do is they shoot out both sides because they have a long, narrow flower bed. If I move to put this in my garden, I'm probably going to get the ones that cover the 10-foot sprinkler system to cover that area. But what you can do is, we got a kit at Lowe's, but you can also get the different heads and the different sprinklers. So just, if I had to do it again, I would have looked at the different heads, bought what I needed instead of getting that whole big kit. Because there are things that I end up not using. And things that I had to then go buy, like all these extra red heads. We also have here this is just kind of like a dripper system. This I actually set up a little bit myself. So I got some of the stakes, and then I got some drippers that are supposed to go directly into the hose, but they fit on that 1/4 inch line, because I didn't want to have just the hose dripping there, or have to pay to get a whole nother thing of 1/4 inch hose and the whole kit that goes with those drippers. So I knew these sprinklers had a 1/4 inch on it, and I just stuck those in the ends. So you can see here what that looked like, and that's actually adjustable. You can knock it down and make it drip more or spray out like that. That's a bigger pot, so I have it spray out more. But you can see I've run it all the way around here. You may think you need a T or something at the corner, but you don't. These things actually turn. You can see it a little bit there. I know it's kind of dark, but they turn more than you think they do. And it just runs right along here with staples. I've got a sprinkler head between each to plant. This definitely covers it. Got one of the drippers in here. You can see it coming out there. Another sprinkler here with these 2 plants. And this hose just runs back through here. And what it does is, at the end, you basically pinch it off. You fold it over. Here's your fold over. And there's a little thing that comes with it. It looks like a little tiny pair of handcuffs. You run down over it, you fold it back over, and you run it through there. Now, there's also some caps and some other stuff. This was simple, and what it does then is going to let me, at the end of the season, uncrimp that and drain this hose out, so I can leave it out all year after I drained all the water out of it. And like I said, next year when I mulch, I'm going to cover it up. That's one tip I will share that I think is a good one, is to wait a season, because if you move stuff, if you have to move your hose, if something turns out to not work right, or you didn't set it up right, you don't want to have to dig another trench. Now, like I said, you can get timers to put on your faucet. That would just set over here. They have ones that run off your Alexa, ones that are just programmable, whatever. I still water the rest of my plants with the watering can, so I just run this while I do that, so I don't need a timer. But you can see, I mean, there's a bunch of plants and a pretty big patio that this one runs around. I got 100 feet of 1/2 inch line that I've used for this. I probably have 40 feet left. So you can tell it covers a lot of area. And you don't need a sprinkler for each plant. If you get the right head, it'll hit both plants. And, you know, they're adjustable, so you can back it down or increase it. There's a little valve on each of these sprinklers. You can see it right here. There's a little valve that lets you adjust it, your flows and stuff. So I was actually, some of these I had to bank down so it would hit the plant. But it's definitely covering both of these, and I probably don't need to run it more than 10 minutes a day to get adequate water here, unless it's super hot or something. So I don't think I'm going to end up using that 10 gallons a minute. But if you're in a dry area or you're trying to do something more, you might. But like I said, I definitely recommend this so far, this Mr. Landscape drip irrigation system. They have them at Lowe's, they have them at Home Depot. You can order it off Amazon, just wherever you can find it cheaper. And it will definitely save you time on your watering and save you effort. And I will try to follow up with a review later in the season to let you know how it goes. But if you have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments on how I set it up or how it works, how yours maybe works. Like this video, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good